So hello everyone. In this session, we are starting percentage from basics, and the whole agenda of this session is to give you a brief about basics of percentage chapter, and also take you through different type of problems and how to approach them. So percent means per and cent. It means per hundred. So why we say per hundred? Suppose we have something like I have secured 50 marks out of 80, right? So I have secured 50 marks out of 80, but once I need to find out how much marks I have secured out of 100, if my denominator is 100, so that value, suppose out of 100 I'm getting x, then this x is nothing but percentage, right? Now how do we do that? So we first convert a given scenario in terms of fraction. How to convert a scenario in terms of fraction? So 50 marks out of 80. So 50 by 80 marks out of 1. Always remember your out of part will come to denominator. Denominator means the this part, denominator part, and 50 marks, the marks you have scored, will come to the numerator part. Now when we want to find out of 100, then we say it is percentage. So 50 by 80 into 100 out of 100, simply multiplying both sides by 100. So this comes out to be, so it comes out to be 250 divided by 4. This is around 62.5%, right? So this way you find out how much percentage you have got out of in a given scenario. So what I have done, I have been given a scenario that a out of b. I have just simply written that scenario in terms of fraction a by b, and then I multiplied that by 100 to find out percentage. Let's move to next and see in a different scenario how do we do that. Suppose you have a class. In a class we have 45 girls out of 60 students, and I need to find out percentage of girls in the class, right? So 45 girls out of 60, right? So 45 divided by 60 into 100 is my percentage. So it comes out to be 75%. Again, we have done the same thing. We have just converted the given scenario in terms of fraction. So 45 girls out of 60. So out of 60, the out of part always get into the denominator. How many girls? So this will give into the numerator, and then we will multiply this by 100 to get the percentage value. So in a way, if I have been given a situation that a out of b, then I am just simply writing it as a by b into 100 to convert it into percentage. And that is a way to convert to percentage when you have been given a scenario like this, either a out of b, or 50 out of 80, or 45 girls out of 60 students. So this way you can convert it into percentages. Now finding x percent of y, right? So there are many situations in which we need to find out some percentage of y, right? What would be that finding x percent of y? So suppose I need to find out that my sale, my profit is 20%. So profit is always calculated on cost price. So cost price is 20%. We will calculate and we will say our profit will be that much. Suppose our sales grow by 25%. So we will see what was our previous year value, and then we will add 25% more on that to 25%. Suppose you got 50% marks out of maximum marks, right? And I know that my maximum marks is 700, so I can find out that 700 into 50%. 50%, when we convert 50% to 50 by 100, so 350 will be total marks which we have got. So x percent of y means what? Y into x by 100. This is your x by 100. That way you calculate the exact percentage value in this case of scenario. So suppose you have been given what is 20% of 450. Now I know 450 of 450, so my base is 450. 450 into 20%. So 20 by 100, 25 is 90. So I'm getting 90 as the answer. What is 20% of 450? Again, now suppose 20% of what number is 450, but here I don't know of what number. The of what number I need to find out. Suppose that number is x, so it is asking me 20% of x is 450 and I need to find out x, right? So x into 20% is equal to 450. So x into 20 by 100 becomes 450, and my x becomes nothing but 450 into 100 divided by 20. So it becomes 2250. So this way you can find out percentage in terms of x percent of y or y percent of x. You have to be very cautious that what is the base. So in this case of 450, my base was 450, and out of which I need to calculate 20%. In this case of 20% of what number, my base was unknown, so I have to assume that my base is x, and then I need to calculate 20% of x and find out equivalent of this to 450. Let's move to the next scenario. Now we have a scenario in which it is being said that Ram's salary is 90% of Sam's salary. Now we need to find out what exactly is Sam's salary is what percent of Ram's salary. So Ram's salary is 90% of Sam's salary. So Sam into 90% is what I get. Ram gets Sam into 90 by 100. So I get S into 9 by 10 when I simplify this. Now I need to find out Sam's salary is what percent of Ram. So Ram by Sam is nothing but 9 by 10. I need to find out Sam's salary is what percent of the Sam by Ram I need to find out. So I just reverse the ratios and I get S by R as 10 by 9. And to find out this in terms of percentage, we already have seen that we need to just multiply this by 100. S by R is 10 by 9. So multiply by 100 will give me how much? 1000 by 9, and this come out to be 111.11 percentages. So I need to be very careful when I need to find out something like this, because in the first case Ram's salary is 90% of Sam's salary. I know as Sam's salary is S into 90%, but in the second case they're asking Sam's salary is what percent of Ram's salary. So I need to find out Ram in the denominator, and I need to find out what exactly is S divided by R in terms of percentage. So I need to be very cautious when I'm solving such questions, because I need to understand what exactly will be base in such scenarios. Now this question simply a very typical kind of question. I've been given that in a poll a total of 1,20,000 votes were polled, of which 20% were invalid. A candidate received 60% of the valid votes. Find the number of votes polled by the candidate. So your invalid votes are how many? Your invalid votes are nothing but 1,20,000 into 10%. Now 10% of this comes out to be nothing but 12,000. which is 120,000 into 10 by 100. So it comes out to be 12,000. So valid votes will be how much? 1,20,000 minus 12,000, right? So I get 1,08,000 as valid votes. Now A's share is nothing but 60% of this. So 1,08,000 into 60 divided by 100, right? So it comes out to be 64,800. So A's share is nothing but 64,800, and that's the answer. So we have been given some votes as invalid, so we just remove that. We find valid votes, and then I know that my candidate A got 60% of the valid votes, so I just find out 60% of the valid votes, and that is the candidate A. Now a lot of time I need to work with the percentage fraction equivalence, and I need to find out percentage, certain percentages, certain fractions in terms of percentage. Let us first see in the typical scenarios what exactly is the percentages. So if I have a fraction called half, you have to just multiply this by 100 and you get 50% as a percentage equivalence of half. Similarly for 1 by 3, it is nothing but 1 by 3 into 100 and you get 33.33%. In case of 1 by 4, it becomes 1 by 4 into 100 and you get 25% as a percentage. 1 by 5, it becomes 1 by 5 into 100 and you get 20%. Similarly, 1 by 6 is 1 by 6 into 100. To convert it into percentage, I get 16.66 percentage. 1 by 7 becomes 1 by 7 into 100, which I get 14.28 percentages. 1 by 8 becomes 1 by 8 into 100 and I get 12.5 percentages. 1 by 9 is nothing but 1 by 9 into 100 and this is nothing but 11.11 percentage. Similarly, 1 by 10 is nothing but 1 by 10 into 100 and 10% is what we get when we convert 1 by 10 into 10%. So half is 50%, 1 by 3 33.33%, 1 by 4 25%, then 20, then 60.66, 1 by 6, 1 by 7 14.28, 1 by 8 12.5 and 1 by 9 11.11%. And we need to understand these values. We need to keep these values in our memory, and that helps us a lot of times while solving such questions, because these values are very commonly occurring values in the questions, and once we have hold of these memorized values, we will be able to solve questions easily, quickly. In a given exam scenario, the time is very less, so it becomes very easy for us to get into solving mode and solve that particular question. Similarly, if I need to find out the fraction equivalent of others, the 1 by 11 becomes 1 by 11 into 100, which is nothing but 9.09%. 1 by 12 is simply half of 1 by 6. So 1 by 6 was 16.66, so half of that, and 8.33% it comes out to be 1 by 12 into 100. 1 by 13 is nothing but 7.69%. You just need to solve this. This is 1 by 13 into 100. Similarly, 1 by 14 is nothing but half of 1 by 7, which we got in the last question. We got 14.28%, so it becomes 7.14%. Similarly, 1 by 15 is 1 by 15 into 100, which is nothing but 6.66%. 1 by 16 is simply 1 by 16 into 100 and it comes out to be 6.25%. 1 by 17 comes out to be 1 by 17 into 100 and it is nothing but 5.88%. Right? Now 1 by 18 is how much? So 1 by 18 is, which is half of 1 by 9. 1 by 9 was 11.11 and this is nothing but 5.55%. Similarly, 1 by 19 becomes 1 by 19 into 100 and this is nothing but 5.26%, and 1 by 20 is nothing but 5%. So just have a look at these values. 1 by 11 is 9.09%. Similarly, suppose you need to find out 2 by 11. So 2 by 11 will nothing but 2 multiplied by this, it will become 18.18%. Similarly, 1 by 12 is 8.33%. Suppose there is a value in the question which says 83.33%. So this is nothing but this multiplied by 10. So this will become 10 by 12. This way you can kind of solve many scenarios in the given question, and we will see in the next examples how do we use this in solving questions. Let's move to the next scenario and see how to solve this. So my first scenario is nothing but 16.66 percentage 48. So we saw that 16.66 is nothing but 1 by 6. So 1 by 6 of 48 multiplied 1 by 6 into 48, which gives us 8 as an answer. So my first question answer is 8. Similarly, when we're trying to find out B, I have 12.5% of 180, and I know 12.5% from my earlier example is nothing but 1 by 8. 1 by 8 of 180 becomes nothing but 10, and this becomes my answer. Similarly, 27.27% of 165. So I know ki 9.09 was nothing but 1 by 11, and this is nothing but 9.09 into 3% of 165. And I know 1 by 11 was this, so 3 by 11 will be this. So this becomes 45 as an answer. So you can see easily how simple it becomes once you know certain values in terms of fractions. Similarly, suppose I have a value called 44.44. I know 11.11% was nothing but which was 1 by 9, and 44.44% is nothing but 4 times of this, which is 4 by 9 of what? I have to find out for 63. So it becomes 28, which is my answer. Similarly, 6.25% of 24. So I know my 6.25% was 1 by 16. So 1 by 16 divided by 24, 8 2s are, 8 3s are, and 3 by 2. So it becomes 1.5, which is the answer here. 6.66, which we have found out, was 1 by 15, right? In terms of here. So 1 by 15 of what? 57. So we just multiply 1 by 15 into 57. And when we simplify this, it becomes 10. 3.8, right? So that way we can solve these questions very easily. And let's move to G. We have to find out 37.5% of 72, and I know my 1 by 8 was 12.5%, and I know 12.5 into 3 is 37.5. So 1 by 8 into 3 will become 3 by 8. So this is nothing but 37.5% is nothing but 3 by 8 of what? Of 72. 8 9s, and I'm getting 27 as an answer. Similarly, in terms of H, 83.33% I need to find out of what? Of 42. I know कि 1 by 12 was nothing but 8.33%. So 83.33 will be nothing but 10 by 12 of what? Of 42. It becomes 35. 35 is the answer here. Similarly, 87.5% of 144. I know 12.5% was nothing but 1 by 8. 87.5 is nothing but 12.5 into 7. So 7 by 8 will become 87.5%. And then 7 by 8 of 144 will give me 112. So 112 will be answer here. This way we can find out percentage equivalent of others also. So let's move to the next part. In this part we are trying to find out a percentage increase and percentage decrease. First situation is that a number n is increased by 22.22%, and I need to find out what exactly that number becomes. As I know, my 11.11% was nothing but 1 by 9, and 22.22% was 2 by 9, right? So if a number is increased, suppose n is a number, I have to increase by 2 by 9. So 2 by 9 of n is the increase part. Increase over what? Increase over its original value. So it becomes n plus 2n by 9. And if I just simplify this, it becomes 11 by 9 into n. So it becomes n into 11 by 9 in case of increase of 22.22%. Now increase of 16.66%. I know 16.66% is nothing but 1 by 6 in terms of fraction. Now my number n increases by what? 16.66%. So I just have to multiply 1 by 6 to n. This is the increase we are talking about. Increase over what? Increase over original number. So my number becomes n plus n by 6, and then if I take n common, it becomes 1 plus 1 by 6, and 7 by 6 into n is the resulting number when we kind of increase it by 16.66%. Right? So you can see that first case the multiplying factor become 11 by 9. In the second case the multiplying factor becomes 7 by 6. The original number into a particular number is the resulting number. So the multiplying factor is nothing but the final number. The original number is multiplied by what to get the final number. So these two are multiplying factors in this case. Right? So increase of 37.5%. So I know 37.5% is nothing but 1 by 8 was 12.5%, and 3 by 8 is 37.5%. Okay, so increase is what? N plus n into 3 by 8. This is my increase, 37.5%. So n 1 plus 3 by 8, and this becomes nothing but 11 by 8 into n. So what is this? My multiplying factor becomes 11 by 8. My resulting number is 11 by 8 into n. Now increase of 125%. My factor is 125%, which is nothing but 125 by 100, 5 by 4. So over what we get increase? So 5 by 4 of n becomes, and n will be added to n, I mean original number, to find out the resulting number. So what will be the multiplying factor? It will be 1 plus 5 by 4, and 9 by 4 into n will be the resulting number. Okay, so in these cases we can find out resulting number based on our given conditions. Let's move to next questions. Now, how do we approach if there is given a decrease of n by 20%? So n is my original number, decrease is given 20%. So n ka 20%, right? We are talking about 20% is nothing but 1 by 5th of n. So my n decreasing by n by 5. So it will be 1 minus 1 by 5 into n, and this becomes 4 by 5 into n. So my n becomes 4 by 5 into n in this case. Now suppose decrease of 11.11% is equivalent to multiplying the base by. So decrease of 11.11%, I know 1 by 9 is 11.11%. So my n decreases by 11.11%. So just multiply it by 1 by n. So n by 9. What decreases? N decreases. So n common, 1 minus 1 by 9, and n becomes n into 8 by 9. So if n is 8 by 8, n into 8 by 9, then it is decreasing by 11.11%. If it's decreasing by 20%, n becomes 4 by 5 into n. Right? Let's move ahead and find out the scenarios. Now similarly, I have been given a scenario, a decrease of 27.27% is equivalent to multiplying base by. So I know that 1 by 11 is nothing but 9.09%. So 2 by 11 will be nothing but 18.18%, and 3 by 11 will be nothing but 27.27%. So what is happening? We are decreasing n by this percent and by 27.27%. So n will be multiplied by 3 by 11. So my decrease is nothing but n into 3 by 11 over what? Over n. So n minus 3 by 11 n. So I just take n common, 1 minus 3 by 11, and this becomes 8 by 11 into n. Right? So here the n becomes 8 by 11 into n. Right? So we'll move forward with the next question. So let's take some more scenarios in which n increases or decreases by a certain quantity. Now n is increasing by how much? So n is increasing by 16.66 percentage. What n becomes? So I know कि 16.66% is nothing but 1 by 6. So n is increasing by 16.66, मतलब n becomes n into 1 by 6. This is my increase. So increase over n, so n plus n by 6. So this becomes nothing but n 1 plus 1 by 6, and this becomes 7 by 6 into n. So n becomes 7 by 6 into n. Length of a rectangle is increased by 18.18%. I know my 9.09% is nothing but 1 by 11, right? So 18.18% will be nothing but 2 by 11. Length new is length old plus length old into 2 by 11. So my length old 1 plus 2 by 11. So 13 by 11 into length of old is what my length of new is. Okay, so that way we can find out the multiplying factor. Similarly, in terms of decrease, so I need to find out what exactly price of chocolate decreases by 25%. 25% is nothing but 1 by 4. So my price, old price into 1 by 4 is the decrease part. Decrease over what? Decrease over P old. So P old minus P old into 1 by 4 is my P new. So my P new is nothing but P old 1 minus 1 by 4, which is 3 by 4, right? So 3 by 4 into P old is P new. Ram's marks are 30% less than Syam's marks, then Ram is less. So Ram's marks is 30% less than Syam marks. Syam minus Syam into 30 by 100. That is what it is given, 30% less than Syam's marks. Okay. So S 1 minus 3 by 10 and 7 by 10 into S. So Syam's marks into 7 by 10 is Ram's marks. So my multiplying factor is nothing but 7 by 10. Okay, I hope you are getting the point here, how to approach such questions. How do we find out multiplying factor in these cases? Now this is a very important concept, that if x is 20% more than y is what percent less than x? Similarly, as we have done in earlier questions, x is 20% more than y. So y plus y का 20% is nothing but x. So my y plus y into 1 by 5 is x. Y common, 1 plus 1 by 5. So 6 by 5 into y is the x part here. So y is what percent less than x? So y is what percent less than x? Y is nothing but 5 by 6 into x, right? Just cross multiplying. Now 5 by 6 can be written as 1 by 1 by 6 into x, and I know my 1 by 6 is nothing but 16.66%, right, as we have seen in the earlier example. So my y is 16.66% less than x, and this is our answer. So just being comfortable with certain fractions, you will be able to get your answer faster. Just I am able to get my answer faster because I know 1 by 6 is 16.66%. I also know 20% is 1 by 5, and I can use that also. That is how we approach the questions in a very easy way. So let's start solving few questions which are of different types. And in these questions, what we are trying to find out is what exactly happens when you have a fixed budget and prices increase by a certain percentage, how your consumption will decrease. So in this question particularly, suppose I have a budget of, I have, when the price and quantity are P and Q, my budget is nothing but PQ, P into Q. Now price of sugar decreases by 6.25%. So my price of sugar decreases means price becomes 1 minus 6.25%. 6.25% is nothing but how much? 1 by 16, right? So this is nothing by 15 by 16 into this decreases, and I need to keep the same expenditure. So my expenditure or budget remains PQ only, P into Q, and I need to find out Q dash. So 15 by 16 P into Q dash is P into Q, right? PP gets cuts and Q dash gets 16 by 15 into Q, which is 1 plus 1 by 15 Q. And if I remember 1 by 15 in terms of percentage was how much? This was 6.66%. So what will be the increase in the consumption of sugar in the same expenditure to keep the expenditure same? That is nothing but 6.66%. These type of questions, you have a fixed constant given, and that constant remains same in the both situations, in the first situation also, in the second situation also, and you need to find out what is increase or decrease, which we have to do in this case, right? Similarly, another example of that particular question is that suppose price of milk went up by 18.18%. A household decreased consumption of milk by 8.33%. By what percent did the expenditure of the family change? Now I know, suppose my price of milk was P and my quantity which I used to take was Q, right? And my expenditure was P into Q, my expenditure on milk. Now what has happened? Price of milk went by 18.18%. So P 1 plus 18.18%, and I know 9.09 is 1 by 11, so 18.18 2 by 11. This is 2 by 11 into P. So 13 by 11 into P it becomes. And it says that the consumption of milk decreased by 8.33%. 0.33 is nothing but 1 by 12. So this becomes Q 1 minus 1 by 12. And this is nothing but Q into 11 by 12. Now what happened to expenditure in this case? It becomes just multiplication of these two, and it is 13 by 11p into 11 q by 12, and 11 gets cancelled out. So it becomes 1 plus 1 by 12 pq. So pq plus some factor of increase, and then 1 plus this. So 1 by 12 is the increase, and 1 by 12 I know is nothing but how much? It is 8.33 percentage, right? So 8.33 percentage will be the expenditure of the family that will increase, right? Now let's move towards a concept of successive percentage change. Now successive percentage change, many places you would have seen that in SOPs it is written as 16% plus 20% discount, right? Count. You might have seen in some SOPs that it is written that the discount is 16% plus 20%. Now 16% plus 20%, what exactly it means? Does it mean that we have a discount of 16 plus 20%, which is 80%, or does it mean something else? Let us see what exactly this means. So suppose I need to find out successive percentage changes, successive discounts. So I start with 100, and my first discount is nothing but 60%. 60% of 100 is 60, so minus 60 I will do, and I will get 40 now as a resulting number. Again there is a decrease of 20%, so decrease of 20% of 40 is 8 minus 8, 40 minus 8 is 32, and net changes how much? 32 from 100. 100 to 32 means how much? A change of 68. In percentage also this change will be 68% only. So what exactly is the resulting factor when we have two successive discounts? The resulting factor is not exactly 80%, but it is 68%, as we can see here. right? So whatever options you see in shops sometimes, that your discount is 90% plus 10%, and you think this is nothing but 100% discount, and you get misled by the way it is written. It is not exactly 100%, it is something else, right? You can find out what exactly it is in terms of percentage. Let's move to the next question. Suppose I have a successive percentage of 20%, 10%, 5%, and then I have a successive percentage of 5%, 20%, and then 10%. What exactly these will be equivalent, and does changing order of these successive discounts will make any difference? Let us see that. So my first case, let us move with 100, and my these are not discount. Let us assume these are the increase, successive increase. So 20% increase means how much? 20. So plus of 20, the 120 it will become. Again 10% increase, so 12 plus the 132 it will become. Again 5% increase, so this is nothing but 10% is 13.2 divided by 6.6, so it will become 138.6. So total change is nothing but 38.6%. Okay. So let us see in the second case what exactly is the case here. Are these values equal? Are these values different? Let us see that. So in this case, my first increase is nothing but 5% of increase, then 20% of increase, then 10% of increase. So suppose base value is 100 and I am increasing by 5%, so it will become plus 5. This is 105. Okay. Now let's move to second increase, which is 20% increase. 105 is 20%, is nothing but 21 plus 21, so it becomes 126. Again I have a plus 10% increase, it is nothing but 12.6, and this again becomes 138.6. In terms of percentages, this is again 38.6%. So what happens, the order doesn't matter here, whether you take 20%, 10%, or 5% and apply successive increase of that, or you take 5%, 20%, or 10% and apply successive changes of that, your overall resulting change is 38.6%. It is suggested that start with the decreasing order. First take the higher value, then second highest, and then third highest or lowest value. Now let's move to questions based on successive percentage changes. Now population of a city increases by 20%, 25%, then 18.818%, then 10%, but decreases by 9.09% in the fourth consensus. Population after the fourth consensus for 65 lakhs, we have to find out population before the first consensus. So what happens, let before first let assume that population, which we need to find out, population before first was x. Now 25% increase means what? In terms of factor, it means 1 plus 1 by 4. 25% is 1 by 4 increase, so we will add 1 to that, and this is 5 by 4 ka factor. So if we multiply x by 5 by 4, I am getting population of next year. Similarly, 18.18% increase means what? I know ki 9.09 is 1 by 11, 18.18 will be 2 by 11. So 1 plus 2 by 11, which is 13 by 11. So if I multiply x by these two factors, I get third years. So after second consecutive increase, I will get the population of after second year's increase. Again 10% increase. So I'm just finding out the factor to be multiplied, which is 1 by 10. So 11 by 10. And finally I have a 9.09% decrease, which in terms of percentage, 1 by 11 is the fraction value. So decrease means 1 minus 1 by 11, which comes out to be 10 by 11. So my population will be, after these four consecutive increase decrease, x into 5 by 4 into 13 by 11 into 11 by 10 into 10 by 11. right? So my 10 gets cut, 11 gets cut, right? So my value, and this is nothing but 65 lakh. This is 13,565. So if we cut the goes axis 44 lakh. So my x which we started with is nothing but 44 lakhs. What we are doing here, we are finding equivalent multiplying factor for these changes. Increase means 1 plus this, 1 plus 1 by 5, 4, 25% was equivalent to 1 by 4, 18.1 is equal to 2 by 11, 10% is 1 by 10, and 9.0 is 1 by 11. And increase means 1 plus this, and decrease means 1 minus 1 by 11, right? So we are finding factor and just multiplying the first value with those factors and finding the resulting value which is given in this question. Let us find similarly, suppose a population of a city is changed by this percentage over 3 consecutive years. We need to find out the total percentage change over the 3 years. Now what has happened? 3 changes have been done. Now suppose whatever be the population, suppose it was the x. 12.5% is nothing but 1 by 8, so it is an increase plus, so 1 plus 1 by 8 into x, that becomes 9 by 8x becomes after first change. Similarly, minus 12.5% change means 1 minus 1 by 8, simply 7 by 8. So 9 by 8 into 7 by 8x it becomes, just multiplying the previous value with the new change. And 6.66% is nothing but 1 plus change, 1 plus 1 by 15, so 16 by 15, 16 by 15, so 16 by 15, say we have to multiply the last value. So 9 by 8 into 7 by 8 into 16 by 15 is what we are getting. So 8 twice, right? 3 threes, 3 5. What it becomes? 2 fours. It becomes 21 by 20x. Yani 1 plus 1 by 20x. 1 by 20 is the increase which we got in terms of percentage. What will it be? What will it be? It will be 5%. 1 by 20 is nothing, it's equivalent to 5%. So this is the way we tackle different questions out here. So what kind of a last question on successive percentage here. So what is a single percentage change equivalent to 2% decrease of 110%? So it's saying that there is a minus 10% and then there is a successive minus 10%. What is the resulting change? So suppose I have 100 and minus 10%, so 100 ka 10% is 10, so I'm getting 90. 90 ka 10% decrease again, so it is 9 minus, so it will become 81. So how much is the decrease? It is decrease of 19. So total decrease or total impact of that is nothing but 90% decrease, 19% decrease. Okay, so this is the way we are trying to find out values in different scenarios. And let's recap what we have learned in a while. So let's recap what we have learned. So we learned very basic thing, that what percent is. So percent is nothing but finding values when your denominator is 100. So we saw that if my marks is 50 out of 80 and to find out the percentage, I just multiply this by 100. Similarly, if I have 45 girls out of 60 students, I just multiply this by 100 and I find out percentages. So A out of B has to be converted in percentage by A by B out of B. So B in denominator, A in numerator, into 100 is the percentage value. This is what we found in the first percent. Then we found x percent of y, how to calculate it. So if I have 20% of 450, so I just have to multiply this 450 into 20 and then divide by 100. 20% means 20 by 100. We multiply this by 20 by 100 and we get the values in different cases. Again, we saw what happens when there is a kind of a successive change, or what happens when there is a fraction involved in percentage. So we saw half if converted into 100 is 50%. We saw that 1 by 6 if converted into 100 is nothing but 16.66%. Similarly, 1 by 11 if converted into 100 is 9.09%. 1 by 9 if converted into 100 is 11.11%. 1 by 7 if converted into 100 is 14.28%. So we multiply the fraction by 100 to convert it into percentage. This is what was our learning for converting fraction into percentage. Then we saw what happens when there is an increase of something in a number. Suppose there is an increase of 11.11% in n, and we need to find out by what n should be multiplied to find out resulting number. So resulting number is nothing but n plus increase. Increase is nothing but n into 11.11%, and 11.11% I know is nothing but 1 by 9. So just take n common, n1 plus 1 by 9. So 10 by 9 into n. So in a way, if I have an increase, I just have to put 1. I have to add this 11.11 in terms of fraction is nothing but 1 by 9. I just have to find this, that, and this becomes 10 by 9. So my 10 by 9 into original number which I took, which is n here, is what our resulting number will be. Again, in terms of decrease also, we kind of got, suppose we have a decrease of 6.66% for n. So I know decrease n minus 6.66% of n, and I know 6.6 is nothing but n into 1 by 15. So n becomes 1 minus 1 by 15, or 14 by 15n. It simply means if you have a decrease value 6.66%, convert this into fraction, just minus this from the original. So 1 minus 1 by 15 will be your multiplying factor, or 14 by 15 when multiplied with the original number will give you the resulting number. Right? These two things we saw. So again we saw, suppose we have a fixed budget of some number is a constant, C equal to P into Q. We saw if suppose there is a 25% increase in P and I want to make my expenditure same, which is PQ. Suppose P is price of an item, Q is the quantity of an item, my budget is PQ, right? I can only get PQ. I get PQ to spend in a month, and my P price increases by 25%, which is nothing but P into 1 plus 1 by 4. So 5 by 4 into P, and my quantity becomes Q dash, and my budget remains PQ. So Q dash comes out to be nothing but 4 by 5 into Q, which is nothing but 1 minus 1 by 5 into Q. So 1 minus 1 by 5 means 1 by 5 is nothing but 20%. So your expenditure should decrease by 20%, right? This is what we learned in terms of constant budget questions. Then we saw that a successive 60% or 20% discount, successive discount of these two is not equivalent to 80%. This came out to be equivalent to 68%, right? We also saw that if there is a successive increase of 20%, then 10%, and then 5%, so it is equivalent to 38.6%. And the order doesn't matter here. So you can take 5% increase, then 20% increase, and then 10% increase, and the result will be same. It will be 38.6% increase overall, right? We saw some questions on successive percentage also. So that is what has been the agenda for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. We will again meet on the next lesson, in which we will discuss some good questions on percentage, the frequently asked questions in placement papers. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed the session. Please let me know your queries through the comment section or whatever forums you have through which you can reach to us. Thank you so much.